books are a very important part of my life, and when I look at what I keep in my space when I'm writing, well, Larry's always there. That, and then you see these are my Nightingale books. Oh, this is a very precious picture. This is Florence Nightingale. She's 87 here.
Oh my goodness!
And this is definitely, that shows that sweet unity experience that she had moved into. So this is 1907. This picture. I like little books too, of just really things that can help. I like to read little short poems. I love my Rumi book. That's one of many. Another thing I do is Chinese brushstroke.
Wow.
And this is a wonderful piece that I got in China, and this is needlework. And look at the back side of this. You can't see where they start and stop. It's just extraordinary. And then little treasures here. One of the things that slows me down during the day when I find myself going crazy with too much, I will absolutely stop. And one of the things that I will do is I will do a walking labyrinth with my fingers. This is a beautiful Tibetan piece. And really slow down. Really moving in all the areas. The thing that's so interesting about labyrinth is you think here's the center where I want to get to, and then what happens is you go here, and this is about life. It just throws you way back out again. And then in order to get back there, then but I'm going very fast. I would do this very slow to move into a meditative space, but just any little thing that will keep us slowing down.
I love that idea of having a pad labyrinth.
Right.
Because not everybody has a labyrinth, a real labyrinth handy.
Oh, but you can make,
This
these.
is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Right.
Maybe I'll have to go to Tibet next.
Oh, when you start looking around, you'll see them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of them.
Yeah.
I think it's
Another
awesome.
piece that I love is my a talk that I gave in 2010, the International Year of the Nurse, is my Florence Nightingale statue there. It's a little
Which
statuette. Talk? This one. I gave one at the University of Utah. And that's Florence Nightingale.
It was a gift, wasn't it?
It was a gift for my talk.
Mm.
Real privilege.
Thank you, Barbara.
You're welcome.
My very well organized and very neat study.
Tell us about those beautiful letters here.
Well, these are 3 letters from Hillary Clinton.
Wow.
When the Clintons were in the White House, during those years I happened to write 3 books, and I would send one to the First Lady when it came out, and so I did that 3 times, and she was nice enough to write back thank you letters all 3 times. This is an episode in my life I don't think we talked about in our interview. My years as a battalion surgeon in Vietnam, and
you were in Vietnam?
yes, I was there in 68, 60, 67, 68. And managed to survive, and it was a very important, revealing time in my life. I learned a great deal about myself and about war and how the military operates.
Wow.
And I'm a wiser man for having done that.
And you read a lot. Can I show this?
Books are part of my life. I mean, we've given away 80% of our library since we've lived in New Mexico because we just don't have room for the books. But there's some treasures I can't part with.
Which one of these would you say that you really loved and that
you
cherish?
If I just had to pick one, it would probably be Ken Wilber's book, The Spectrum of Consciousness. And
Why was that particularly revealing to you?
It was, it opened up the idea to me that Western psychology is so limited. There are dimensions that have been known about human consciousness that have been worked out in the East that I was totally unaware of when I was in medical school. And so Wilbur was hugely influential to me in opening up the spectrum of consciousness, which is the name of his terrific...
So this is the book, Larry?
Yes, it influenced me tremendously. This is one of the great books of the 20th century, Aldous Huxley's famous book, The Perennial Philosophy, which certainly affected my life.
Tell us a little bit more about that book.
He collected comments from mystics of all the major religious traditions and put them in one place. And one of the things that he shows is that there's a commonality of wisdom between all the spiritual and religious traditions if you look closely enough. The idea that they're at each other's throats and cannot be harmonized is just a fiction. There's a core of truth that penetrates all of them like a golden thread, and that is where the term, the perennial philosophy, comes from.
One of the joys and ways that I stay connected and creative is doing needlework. This is a piece that was absolutely thrilling. It's the pattern is a Maggie Lane. She's a very famous needlepoint person, and it is done in all wools and very exciting. And I'm listening actually to the music right now. This is our dear friend Robert Bluestone, classical guitar. One of our dear friends. But anyway, this is something that keeps me excited. So
tell us about that beautiful one.
Do you want to come do this dragon first? This one?
Yeah, sure.
This one, this little piece, the dragon, on one of my jackets, there was a little dragon like this. So I took it to the copier and I kept on blowing it up. And so this is done in silk and metallics. And this is what is called Japanese gold, and it is laid, and this canvas is very, very thin. It's a silk scrim, and I have to be absolutely focused in order to work on it. And because you go in and you pull it on the back side, working on the frame, but you have to have a rhythm, because if you don't have a rhythm, you're going to knot your thread, and you're also going to rip a hole in your canvas, and then you have to repair it. But this
so
is,
very
this
meditative.
Is joy. Huh?
Very meditative.
Oh, exactly. And it is. You get into the weaving.
And why dragons?
I love Oriental dragons. They are power. They're protectors. You also always find a pearl with the...
Hello, Larry! Hello!
There's also,
you can't escape!
There's also a pearl with dragons. They're always looking for the ultimate connection to the divine. And so you'll always see pearls. Now this one is just... he was a purchased canvas, and it was all done in pastels. And then what I did was create this pattern to have waves all the way through it. And so this dragon is, you can see I've also trapunted him, so I, pulled little pieces to kind of puff him up. There are about 12 different stitches on this piece. And it's also worked in, these are wools, these are metallics. My nameplate here is done with beads. These are metallics, and then the stitches here, because there will be some people looking who are stitches, I did a Smyrna knot in wool, and on top of it did a cross stitch. And so that's what gives that, sparkly to those scales. And here I did, it's first laid in wool, and then I overlaid this with what's called a feather stitch. And I just randomly did feathers. All of these seafoam bubbles here, they're clouds and seafoam bubbles like that. These are all French knots. Oh, Oh, it brings such joy. And I look at it now and I go, how in the world did I do this? I don't know, except I couldn't quit until I'd finished it. I just knew I loved it. So I'll stand in front of the dragon. 8 years.
8 years. How does it feel to have
it's
this?
thrilling. I look at it and I go, how did I do it? But it's like, working very hard during the day. Then at night, Larry and I both love to do needlepoint. And so just to get it out and start, it's just like play.
It's meditative.
So if I want to also increase the creativity with my projects, I'll go play in all of my threads. Because you always have what are called your stash baskets that are full of odds and ends of yarns and just, putting the colors and the, layers together. But you look at those pillows on the couch, Larry did these.
Larry, you did those.
Larry did these.
Wow.
And he probably didn't say a word to you.
No, I didn't realize you did that.
Yeah.
I just finished this.
Oh, I love that, your book. How cool.
It's the book cover of my latest book, Power Premonitions.
Oh,
and,
awesome.
So we
How long
usually,
did that took you?
3 months working.
Yeah?
Just,
You like that? It's amazing to see a man needle. I've never heard that before.
Well, it's so meditative.
Yeah, it is. It seems like
it really gives you an opportunity to get centered at the end of the day and after the day's busy activities, just to do something like this, to take your mind out of the intellect into some other domain.
Yeah, wow.
And now what we do with these, this is going to become like a Christmas tree ornament. So we'll put it all like that and it'll have a little thing. And then at Christmas, we put a garland here with lights. And then we've been doing these now for 35 years. So it's kind of like we do one thing that was really important for that year. So this was, and he's a little behind, but this was 2009. He started in 2009. He's just now finishing it. And his book came out in 2009. And
wonderful book too that I've interviewed Larry on over webcam.
This is a little work in progress. This is Barbie's 2010 IY Nurse, International Year of the Nurse. It's a project that she...
Another project.
Engaged in with like-minded colleagues with the Florence Nightingale Museum in London and Sigma Theta Tau International. And then my Florence Nightingale project, the Nightingale Initiative for Global Health, and that's www.nightingaledeclaration.net, spelling Nightingale with an I too, so you can get there. So this was, a year of helping nurses focus on the UN Millennium Development Goals, how they were involved in those. And again, this will become just like a little, a small thing. And so we have these on both sides here. And
exciting. And I'm sure that other ideas come when you're doing those.
Never take a picture of us together.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't do that. Books are a very important part of my life, and when I look at what I keep in my space when I'm writing, well, Larry's always there. That, and then you see these are my Nightingale books. Oh, this is a very precious picture. This is Florence Nightingale. She's 87 here.
Oh my goodness!
And this is definitely, that shows that sweet unity experience that she had moved into. So this is 1907. This picture.
I love that idea of having a pad labyrinth.
Right.
Because not everybody has a labyrinth, a real labyrinth handy.
Oh, but you can make,
This
these.
is awesome. Yeah. I love that.
Right.
Maybe I'll have to go to Tibet next.
Oh, when you start looking around, you'll see them.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. I wasn't aware of them.
Yeah.
I think it's
Another
awesome.
piece that I love is my a talk that I gave in 2010, the International Year of the Nurse, is my Florence Nightingale statue there. It's a little
Which talk?
statuette. This one. I gave one at the University of Utah.
Oh.
You can't see where they start and stop. It's just extraordinary. And the little treasures here. One of the things that slows me down during the day when I find myself going crazy with too much, I will absolutely stop. And one of the things that I will do is I will do a walking labyrinth with my fingers. This is a beautiful... I like little books too, of, just really, things that can help. I like to read little short poems. I love my Rumi book. That's one of many.
Yeah.
Another thing I do is Chinese brushstroke.
Wow.
And this is a wonderful piece that I got in China, and this is needlework. And look at the back side of the Tibetan piece. And really slow down. Really moving in all the areas. The thing that's so interesting about Labyrinth is you think here's the center where I want to get to. And then what happens is you go here. And this is about life. It just throws you way back out again. And then in order to get back there, then, but I'm going very fast. I would do this very slow to move into a meditative space. But just, any little thing that, will keep us slowing down.